So the Baltimore Ravens just got a big boost ahead of a matchup with the 9-2 Philadelphia Eagles. Zay Flowers goes to bat for his guy Lamar Jackson on why he's the best quarterback in the National Football League. Plus we got some injury updates for the Ravens, for the Eagles, plus some insane stats and numbers from different analysts that prove that this is one of the best offenses in NFL history that the Baltimore Ravens have right now with this Lamar Jackson-led offense, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. Man, let's go ahead and dive into the content because we got an absolutely loaded episode for you guys today. So again, man, welcome into another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Ravens today. All the Baltimore Ravens news you need in a quick format, baby. Let's go ahead and dive in. At number 1, the Baltimore Ravens open up as 3-point favorites against the Eagles, despite going against the Eagles team that is red hot with Saquon Barkley as the NFL's top leading rusher, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, all these weapons that the Eagles have. The Ravens are still favorited by 3 points. And what's great here is that in preparation for this game, the Ravens are getting Roquan Smith back at practice. Good sign for his chances of playing versus the Eagles on Sunday in the 4 o'clock window. We know Roquan Smith left the Pittsburgh Steelers game early and was not able to come back. He tried to go against the Chargers, had a pregame workout, but ultimately was not cleared by the trainers. And probably in preparation for this type of game against the Eagles, where the Ravens need to keep their momentum moving forward against a very talented and hungry Philadelphia Eagles team. So the Ravens could be getting their Mike inside linebacker, green dot, leader of the defense right there in the middle back for this game, but that's not all. They also had interior defensive lineman Michael Pierce on injured reserve for the last 4 weeks, but he's officially back at practice, and his 21-day practice window is now opened, and it's reported there's a good chance that he could be ready to go against this very, very talented run offense led by Saquon Barkley. So Roquan Smith and Michael Pierce, 2 big parts of the defense, especially in run defense, back at practice. Great news for the Ravens. And at number 2, Zay Flowers, the Ravens wide receiver 1 this season, who is top 5 right now in the NFL in receiving yards. He's been making plays all over the football field, deep, intermediate, yards after catch. He's a dynamic weapon. The Baltimore Ravens, probably the best receiver that the Baltimore Ravens have ever drafted. And that's not a stretch. But here's what he had to say on Lamar Jackson being the best quarterback in the National Football League.
I mean, you know, Patrick Mahomes can do everything too, but this man, literally his first year, he took a team that was not winning to the playoffs. Like, I think the team was 4-7 or 4-8. Took him to the playoffs, became the youngest MVP the next year after that. And after that, he just, I don't think he had a losing season. Like, the other side can't beat him. The NFC can't beat him. I mean, you got to play him more than one time if you want to really know who he is. To beat him, you got to play him more than one time. Like, this man, week in and week out, he gonna make the best plays in the NFL, and that's just who he is. Like, I don't think he have a level. I don't think he have a ceiling. Like, every week he do something or say, I didn't know he could do that. Like, they just show you how, like, he get better and better each week. He do something. He show you something like that, man, lets you know like he the best in the league. Like, it's really hard to stop him. You got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on both sides trying to sack him, and he's just still forming them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not normal, bro. It's not normal. Like, we ain't got the ring yet to prove it, but we gonna go get on one, and then we can start making, like, everybody will start believing us.
So he's not lying, because this year, I mean, he's better than Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. Look at all the numbers. It's absolutely historic. Lamar Jackson is first in passer rating, passing touchdowns, passing yards, rushing yards, total touchdowns, and total yards. To say that any quarterback in the NFL is better than him this season would not be factually accurate. And at number 3, if you don't believe me, check out the numbers here, the historic stuff presented by former quarterback Chase Daniel.
Offense is electric. The offense is one of the best offenses in NFL history. What struck me last night is how easily they can score. They scored on 5 straight drives, and where they can score from. So it got my producer and I, Colin, thinking, what type of offense is this in terms of NFL history, NFL lore?
Not that great.
Well, everyone knows about the greatest show on turf, right? This is the greatest show on grass. Look at these numbers, okay? 32 points a game for the Rams. The Ravens right now are averaging 30, but they have more yards per game. They have more rush yards per game. That's 6.97 yards per play. That's historic.
That's the crazy one.
If that ends today, it's the second best yards per play in NFL history. They're making it look easy. Now, the 1999 Rams ended with a Super Bowl. But will this Ravens team end with the Super Bowl as well? They look like it last night. Their defense might be looking a little funny in the light. But 1999, greatest show on turf, to now the greatest show on grass. It's real.
So spelled out very clear there. The Baltimore Ravens offense is one of the best in NFL history. We saw what a similar offense did with the Rams. They won the Super Bowl. Last year, the Ravens had a very, very good offense. Not quite as good as this season, but they also had an elite defense. They had the number one offense and defense according to DVOA last season, but they ultimately fell short in the playoffs. So, we have Zay Flowers talking about how good Lamar Jackson is, historically good, the historically good offense as a whole this year. But what really matters is what they do in the playoffs. We're only a couple of weeks away from that, man, and it's going to be fun and exciting. But with how good this offense is, can the defense live up? You just really don't want it to be wasted with the defense not holding their end of the bargain. Now, each week, the Ravens defense over the last few weeks has been getting better and more consistent, and it really started with the move to put Kyle Hamilton and Ardarius Washington at the two starting safety roles, and ultimately benching Marcus Williams and releasing Eddie Jackson from the active roster. In addition to those moves, the Ravens have also got Nate Wiggins, the rookie cornerback, more playing time, and incorporated newly, traded acquisition and Tre'Davious White from the LA Rams. Those guys have been getting more snaps, reducing some of Brandon Stevens' role and workload. And we've seen a major improvement in pass defense, especially not letting guys run past them. And it was absolutely absurd because you were looking at the Ravens defense and saying, hey, man, you got talent, all pros at every level. All-pro linebacker, Roquan, all-pro defensive tackle, Justin Madubuike, all-pro safety, and Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey. You had guys all over the defense. Marcus Williams used to be an absolute stud, Pro Bowl type of player, but he just has not lived up to it. This season really dropped off, and then you were having some big coverage busts and stuff, and the Ravens defense was not living up to expectation. But they have gotten better and better each week, and at number 4, they got a big challenge against a very potent Philadelphia Eagles offense, one of the best in the NFL right now. And A.J. Brown is no joke. He's the real deal. He's an elite NFL wide receiver. Dallas Goedert, a great tight end. The Eagles offensive line is one of the best in the NFL, has been for a long time. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, what he's doing right now. The Ravens defense is going to absolutely have their hands full. But some updates on their side of the football is wide receiver Devontae Smith was not at practice. He has missed the last couple of weeks due to an injury, and now Darius Slay was also not practicing. Their starting wide receiver and cornerback on both sides of the football there, definitely something to keep an eye out for. And at number 5, the Ravens are 4-1 this season when trailing by 10 or more points at any point. The rest of the NFL is 18-130 with a 12% winning percentage. So one of the big knocks on the Ravens for the longest time before Todd Monken really rolled into town was that the Ravens offense, Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, they cannot play from behind. If you get out to a lead and the Ravens can't run the football, they're toast. Well, that was kind of true with Greg Roman. However, since Todd Monken has rolled into town and upgraded this passing attack, and the emergence of Zay Flowers and now a healthy Rashad Bateman and a comprehensive passing attack, which, where Lamar Jackson actually leads the NFL in passing yards this year, and passer rating, passing yards, rushing yards, total touch, all of those elite numbers for Lamar Jackson and this Ravens passing attack, man, they're able to win in any situation now. That makes you feel a lot more comfortable going into the playoffs. We've seen a couple of times this year where the Ravens, they get out to an 0-10 deficit to the Buccaneers, ended up, pretty much blowing them out. They got down to the Chargers, a couple of wasted offensive drives. The Chargers put up 10 points, and the Ravens are able to rattle back and still win in convincing fashion, man. They're able to score so fast, and that comes through plays in the rushing department and the passing department. And it just feels like the Ravens are more well-equipped on offense to win in any situation, and that's great for the Ravens heading into the playoffs. Again, one of the biggest questions for me in the playoffs is how good can the defense get? You only have a few weeks left before the playoffs. They have been making big strides, big improvements. Can they get to the point where they're a physical, force to be reckoned with type of defense to match that type of offense they have on the other side of the football? By the way, the Ravens have now won 4 straight when trailing by 10 or more points. All right, guys, so smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content. It really helps out the channel. And we're going to have that Ravens and Eagles preview for you guys very shortly, so make sure you got that subscribe and notification bell on, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.